Hello, everyone. This is Lifting the Veil with Terri and
Rhonda.
We're very excited today to have Brenda Thew with us today. She's a past life regressionist. And I can't tell you how many times people ask me if I know of one, because I don't do that. Sometimes stuff comes up in readings, but very rarely. So we're really glad to have Brenda here to talk to us about what she does.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So you want to know how the process works?
Well, I want to know first what made you go into it.
Okay. I have been interested in reincarnation since, I don't know, I was in high school, and I read every book I could find. And then I started dabbling with my own regressions, and I've recalled probably 7 or 8 lifetimes in varying degrees and detail. And then I became a certified hypnotist with the National Guild of Hypnotists, and took their specialized training in past life regression as a hobby. This is my hobby, and I enjoy so much traveling with people through their memories.
Mhm.
I've been doing regressions now for a good 15 years, maybe 16 or 17.
Sort of like being a fly on a wall, isn't it?
Yes.
And I'm nosy, so I love that kind of stuff.
That's an interesting way of putting it. Traveling, sharing people's travels, because you really are traveling. You're not physically traveling, but you're traveling with your memory and your past lives. That's interesting. I've never heard that before.
Well, since we all live all of our lives at the same time, I'm wondering if the life that they're having now ever bleeds into their past life, or their past life bleeds into their present life. Can you answer?
You mean, does the past life affect?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, everybody's heard someone say, and I say it myself, I think I was drowned in a previous life. I haven't remembered that one. People think of phobias and fears, but it can influence, goodness, the choice of the style of furniture you put in your house. It can influence how well or how quickly you learn something, like a musical instrument or something else artistic. Um, Frankly, if you had a past life where you were abandoned, or you had a bad love breakup, someone left you in that context, you might have trouble forming commitments in current relationships in this lifetime. So it affects your thought processes and your attitudes.
So I know a lot of people will probably wonder, why do I do this the way? Why am I acting this way? And they don't realize that it's actually not from this lifetime, it's from another lifetime.
A past lifetime. And some people have health issues that are related to things that happened to them in a past life.
That's for sure. Yeah, cellular.
Personally, I've had lifetimes where I've had lifetimes where I was hanged and my throat was slit, and I was strangled 3 separate lifetimes. And one where I think I died in a volcanic ash, so I couldn't breathe. And I have asthma, and I have a thyroid problem, which is at the base of your throat. So
yeah, I have those issues too. I think in almost every lifetime I've looked into, I had some kind of lung condition.
And also, I think that not only can we have the physical, symptoms, the symptomatic things, but also we can have marks on our bodies, or disfigurements on our bodies that we're born with from past lives.
Mm-hmm.
It's very interesting. It's so much more to this thing, and than what people realize. But I'm so glad that there's people like Brenda that can help, people. I have a question for you, Brenda. I feel, this is how I feel, and Terri and I do, where we pull up past lives, and where people could be having blockages in their chakra system, and we heal them, surface them, and help them heal them. But I feel that attachments, if you don't get rid of them in your lifetime, I think that they can follow you into a future life. What do you think?
I think that makes complete sense. I mean, if an injury in a past life can cause cellular damage and it affects our bodies now, certainly something that's attached to the soul that's coming back, it would travel with that soul.
That's what I think. And I think it's very important. I mean, I think everybody should have past life regression and figure out what's going on and things like that.
And some people would like to know if their soulmate is the person that they're with, in this lifetime. Have they been with that person before? Have they had a relationship with that person before? Yeah, I think there's so much that it can answer.
And that's something we can find out when you're doing a regression.
Mm-hmm. How long have you been doing this, Brenda?
At least 15 years, and it's a hobby, so it's not full time, but
Yeah.
I started doing regressions at the Owl Nest. Remember that great
Yeah,
store?
I remember that was a while ago. Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Now,
Yeah.
what do you think about the children that are maybe 3, 4, 5 years old, and suddenly they remember another
They
life,
start remembering a past life.
and it's not connected in any way to their present lifetime.
Mhm.
There are a lot of books on that. I think it's fascinating. I've never encountered a child that spontaneously recalls a past life, but usually the past life that they recall, or often, I guess, the past life was recent enough that people are able to do the history and the research and maybe even find the location and items, events that took place that the child remembers.
Yeah, my granddaughter has said a few things. Like she said to my daughter once, she was eating a little cucumber, and she just bit it, and she goes, "This is the way I used to eat them."
Yeah.
And my daughter's like what? Because she didn't used to eat them that way. Yeah, I used to eat them like this, mommy. So yeah, she remembers stuff.
Definitely a sign.
Hmm. Nothing humongous or a name or anything like that, but little clues that she's been here before.
Yes.
Yeah, it's kind of fun.
And also, oops, go ahead, Terry.
I was just going to say that I think that what you do is very healing.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it really it kind of gives people aha moments.
Absolutely.
Like, oh, this is why this is going on. This is why I'm
Yeah.
attracted to this person. This is why we're working this out together. This is, there's so much that they can glean from a session.
Yes, and people are often amazed at when they see images. Keep in
Mm-hmm.
mind, those are the same images they saw through their own eyes in that previous lifetime that they're bringing with them. So when they look down and see their hands or what they're wearing, it can be amazing. And well, people can hear things and smell things and taste things, but the thing that really strikes people is the emotion that they feel.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Another thing, how I know a lot of people who say, "Oh, I can't meditate. I can't go under. I can't," and so they like fight it, or else they think they can't do it, so they won't try it. How do you work with those kind of people?
well, there are two different ways. I can keep doing progressive relaxations, and because that's the standard technique to do a relaxation exercise and then guided visualization. And I have many visualization techniques that can work for lots of people. But I've recently started using oracle cards so that the person can tap into information about the past life that they're ready to remember, that's most connected to their current lifetime. And they get that information through their higher self with their angels and their spirit guides. And then when they're in the regress state, we go to that lifetime. And once you do it a little bit and pull in memories, it becomes easier. Sometimes people don't get a lot with their first lifetime, but then when we move to a second one, more details come in. You're learning to do something. It's the first time you've
Mhm.
pulled memories from that part of your mind or the universe.
It's like with Rhonda and I's healing work. It's like peeling an onion, right? So
Yeah.
you take one off, and then you find another one, and then another one, and so I mean, all of us have lived more than one lifetime.
Oh, yes.
I mean, there's just so many souls, and I've heard there's lines of souls waiting to get into bodies. So, people are just like, I don't know why they want to come back, but they have stuff to work on, obviously.
Well, and another thing, it's just like, and I teach a lot of this to my classes. If you tell yourself you can't, you won't, because your body will reject it. just like medication. If you don't have faith in in a medication that a doctor has prescribed for you, your body will reject it. It's that way. And so, yeah, I just got dinged and that distracted me a little bit. But yeah, I mean, your DNA can even change your pH and stuff like that. So, and also with the when you dig up some past lives from people and they surface and they, you can record it or write it down or whatever, they can research that too.
Yes, yes. I just suggested to someone recently that they do some research because I think they were on the Titanic.
Ooh.
I had someone who recalled a past life as a woman on a very large ship. She got dressed for dinner in a very ornate stateroom, spaghetti strap dress, straight dress with lots of fringes, which sounds like 1920s fashion to me. But she was desperate to get on the upper deck, and she wanted to go through the dining room and tell everyone to get on the upper deck. And then, alas, she died in a very cold ocean. So I suggested she look at fashion and pictures of the Titanic. It didn't click with her that it was the Titanic, but she's a lot younger than I am, so it may not have been part of the history she learned about.
True. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, are there any stories you can share with us? I know you don't want to give any names away or anything
Oh,
like
no,
that,
no, no.
but are there any stories that really hit you?
Well, one that I like is someone who recalled being a young man entering the Confederate Army as like a lower level officer. And this officer was so proud of his tent, his quarters. He kept everything exactly as it should be. He had a sword as part of his uniform. And during the regression, I asked a question that would have been answered yes. And instead of saying yes in their regress state, the answer was, I reckon so, ma'am. And this person was not at all, did not have a Southern accent when they came in or when they left.
Now, was that a man or woman you were regressing?
I don't want to tell you.
Okay, okay. Because sometimes it can be a woman regressing into man and vice versa, right?
Right, right. I've done regressions where someone remembers being of both genders. So
Mm-hmm.
we certainly can come
I
back.
know I have, yeah.
Yeah, and they think that this is just a new thing, the trans stuff and it's been since the beginning of human life. So,
Yeah.
Well, we're all one, and the sooner everybody realizes that, the better.
Well,
yeah.
I had run regression that you ladies might find interesting because it was someone who remembered being a little girl about 11 years old in England, I think in the 1800s, and lived by the shore. And they recalled being in their nightgown, second floor in the hallway, when they saw a ghost. And the ghost ran through her and she fainted. She recalled all of that as the little girl. And in the regression, they knew, but they couldn't tell me how they knew that there'd been a murder in that house. So that could have been the ghost. Um, the little girl's sister believed in the girl's abilities. The rest of the family did not. And she grew up, married, had children, lived a full life, studied spiritualism, but always had that tension with her family because they didn't understand her. So we can even remember that kind of lifetime is a regression. And I did not ask, or I didn't write down in my notes whether that person is sensitive now.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you, are they sensitive in this lifetime?
When I take notes during a session, my notes are very cryptic because I'm moving quickly through it, and I just didn't have that notation, so I don't know.
So, do you ask questions while they're
Yes,
under?
absolutely. It's like, almost like a conversation because
Okay.
after they're relaxed and we do the guided visualization to put you in a past life, then I ask questions and you answer them and we put the lifetime together and we start with very basic questions and we see what you're pulling in. And I try to bounce all over a lifetime, something about their childhood. Did they have children? What kind of life did they lead? What did they do to support themselves, earn their keep? And most people have pretty ordinary but full lifetimes. I mean, we're not all Cleopatra. We didn't all spend time on Titanic. But the emotion that travels with all those memories is pretty incredible for people.
Now, what about deja vu? What do you think about deja vu?
I think it's a sign that you've done that before, been there before, experienced something or been with that person before. It's like a memory jogger.
It's like almost like a portal in time opening up or something.
That's a nice way of putting it.
Yeah.
I've had people come to me and say, I know I was in the Civil War. So we go specifically to a lifetime that was in the Civil War or something like the Civil War. You don't know if you're misinterpreting it.
So if someone is having difficulties in a relationship or even with their parents or something of that nature, they could come to you and you could regress them, and perhaps one of your past lives is actually kind of surfacing and affecting their life now, especially with a certain person or people, right?
Right, right. And we could get a lifetime or two, and if that doesn't seem to be connected, then we'd go specifically to a lifetime where there was something important about your parents. Because I don't want to say it was bad or that it was good, but it was important, and see where it takes them.
So do people generally come to you more than one time? Like, is this the process or I know with your oracle card readings you did at our event a couple weeks ago, and I've gotten a lot of feedback on that. They loved you.
Yes, they did.
Yeah,
Excellent.
a lot of people were very pleased with you. Is that something you would suggest people do? Or do you think you're assessing them at that moment? Or
I think they're remembering the past lives they need to know at that moment.
Mhm.
I've had a few people come back because they've processed the life they remembered and they want more information about it.
Okay.
And it's quite possible that after a couple of years pass, maybe you want to come back and see what other past lives are out there for you that you didn't know about it before.
Right.
I mean, I've even had people come from remember lives from other planets.
Yeah,
So,
I have too. Yeah.
never-
You said in the beginning that you read a lot.
yes.
Are there any books you would suggest people read to kind of let them know what you're talking about?
I think a very important book is Many Lives, Many Masters by Dr. Brian Weiss.
Mm-hmm.
I recently read, and it's hard to find, it's called The Search for Omseti, Omsety.
I've heard
I
of
have
that.
that
I've
I have
heard
that.
that.
You've read it?
O
I
M
think
S E T O.
OM as one word, and then Sety.
Okay, the
Um,
search for.
yes.
I don't
And
think I've heard of it.
Omseti was a pharaoh, I think, or the son of a pharaoh. And
Okay.
the subject of the book remembers being his, let's just say, girlfriend.
Paramore, whatever.
Yeah, it was complicated.
Yeah. Now Brian Weiss, I've met him. He's a
Ah,
very interesting fellow. I took a small workshop. He was part of a workshop that I took. It was pretty cool.
any of
And
his work,
Raymond Moody.
the work of Michael Newton
Yeah.
is also very
Yes.
interesting.
Yes. Now he's the Between Lives guy, right?
Yes, and it's a little more ethereal with him. And
Yeah, I had a session, not with him, but one of his people.
I've had people sort of hang out for a while in between lives, and very there are common themes about being with other beings and just being energy and not being able to explain how they communicate.
Mm-hmm.
Now, would you do couples and also small groups like a family or something like that? Because
Yeah.
I've been regressed with my husband before,
At the
and
same time,
while we were in a group, and she brought us back, the regressionist brought us back, and then afterwards we were chatting to everybody about it, and there was two ladies in front of us, and I was chatting to the one lady, and Joe was chatting to the other one. And then I was listening to what he was saying, and he was telling that lady in front of him the same thing that I was seeing in my past life.
Yes.
We were describing the same house, going around back, viewing two graves, and then another scene I was on this grassy knolls watching a battle, and he was down in the battle. So that actually blew me away. I have to admit, that blew me away.
Well, there's a couple answers to that question. I've actually done a regression with a couple at the same time, and I've sent them back to a life they shared together, and they remembered scenes from different angles. That was quite interesting. Actually, they were sort of gangsters in like the 1930s Chicago-ish theme
Oh.
came through. Uh, very much in love with each other. And I do groups. I've done large groups. I don't sponsor large groups. I don't have the space. What I'd like to start trying is something like a past life party where we get 6 or 8 people together and we do oracle reading for each of them.
Let's do it.
So they have a jumping off point and then do the group regression. Because in a group regression, I ask questions, but you have to keep the answer in your own mind. So I'm not able to tailor it and walk through as much as I would.
Let me know. I'll set it up for you.
Okay, we'll figure that out.
We'll pick out a date and set it up.
That'd be
Okay,
awesome.
that would be
I'm
fun.
sure people would love to come.
You know, back to the one that when I was on the grassy knolls, and I actually even saw this stone monument thing beside of me, or a big stone, and it was like British fighting other people. And I knew that I was in Ireland or Scotland or someplace like that. And Joe was in a red coat, so he was British, and he's Italian. He's born to 100% Sicilian in this life, but he cannot to this day stand the Irish language. The dialect, he cannot stand it. And every St. Patrick's Day I go top of the morning to you, Joseph, and he hates it. He hates it, and I love that because
Well,
I
that's
have
one
a
of
lot of
those.
Irish in my ancestry.
Yeah, me
Well,
too.
you know where that came from.
Right. So
Interesting.
yeah.
But he's got to let that go.
Well,
He's just got to let that go.
Brenda's gonna have to regress him.
Okay, let me know when.
He needs it, I think.
Well, Brenda, let me ask you one more question.
Okay.
What is it about what you do that really brings you satisfaction, and what do you get out of this?
I truly, as I said when we started, I enjoy listening to people's memories and helping them make connections with their current lifetime so they see and they understand why they do things and why things maybe could play out differently for them if they let go of an attitude that they didn't need to have because it isn't theirs. It's something that developed in the past. It's just fascinating to hear what people remember.
Well, how can people get a hold of you?
Well, right now it's an email address. I'm working on a website, and maybe someday you'll post that when I have that together. But the email address is pastlifewisdom, all one word, 44 at Gmail.
Past life wisdom 44.
Yes, the number is 44
at
gmail.com.
Okay.
And is there anything else that you'd like to add that we didn't cover asking you?
It doesn't hurt. This is a fun exercise. It's not scary. I've never had anyone scared by going through this experience. It's more an amazement. And I would be honored to travel with anybody through time that would like to travel with me. Just email.
But have you had anybody that had something negative surface?
when you say negative, I mean, falling into the Atlantic.
Kind of scary, kind of scary. Like maybe they were a witch in a past life, and I'm not afraid of witches or anything like that. But somebody might be.
Aren't you kind of detached from it though when you're in a session?
You're
Because
detached.
you see these things happen, but it doesn't affect you the same way it would if you were actually there.
It's more, I think, as though people went, "Whoa, I didn't know the movie was going to have that information."
Mm-hmm.
It's that kind of feeling when they come out of it. There are a lot of people who remember being witches. I'm one of them. I did have someone who was very stunned when they recalled being a military officer, probably German, male, obviously, and they recalled a meeting where their higher level officers brought them into the room, and the officers were talking about overthrowing Hitler. And then they remembered seeing Hitler walk into the room. So that was a shock. And fear, because what if Hitler thought this officer was associated with the plot? As far as he knew, the plot was not uncovered. He was not part of it. He said he would support it. But that was a really shock to him when he was
I bet it would be,
direction.
yeah. We play both parts. All of us do bad things in lifetimes too. It's a process of learning who we are and, experiencing everything that we can to become enlightened. So, we're going to unearth horrible things, too. You
We're
just
all,
have to, you just
all
have
actors.
To forgive yourself and move on. That's all you can do.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
We're all actors and we all play a part, and we wouldn't be able to grow as a spirit if we didn't experience different emotions. And that's what it's about.
Yeah.
Exactly. And the person I'm talking about actually came out of it knowing that he had played that role as a German soldier, but he was pleased that he was supporting the people that were trying to stop it. Even though he didn't initially apparently know that was going on, and he didn't find out what else he might have done to support their cause.
Yeah.
Yeah, and here's the deal. If something like that is in your present life, or stuff isn't going wrong and that surfaces, then that you can work on that karmic issue in this lifetime and start changing it and evolving it to making it better instead of making it like a negative one.
Right.
So it's healing all around. It truly is. I mean, sometimes it's painful to be healed, a little bit. I mean, if you go to the doctor and they have to do a procedure on you, sometimes it doesn't feel so good, but it's going to make you better.
Right.
So, but yeah, I love past life regression. I've never had a bad experience, and I do it here at home now with listening to past life regressionist on like a video or something, and I love it. I just absolutely love it.
I think it's good to have someone like Brenda though to be there for you if you're like freaking out, or if you need something explained, that kind of thing. I think it's better to be with someone when you're doing that kind of thing. Now, you're an old hand at it, so that's different.
Yeah.
But for people that are just, curious or want to know, how did I know my sister in a past life, that kind of thing. Because I have a sister that I know now what our past life was. And yeah, it was pretty bad. So that's why we don't talk anymore. If you're listening, that's a lot.
But yeah, you're right, Terri. I mean, with you and I, we're experiencing all kinds of stuff. And if we would have something kind of wild come up, we'd be like, oh, what the hell was that? But we wouldn't, if we would understand it.
Yeah.
But, somebody that's not used to this type of thing, it is very much better to have somebody like Brenda to talk you through it and be there to help you understand what's going on.
So listeners, if you're interested in coming to one of these group sessions that we're thinking of doing with Brenda, just message us and let us know you want to be included. We're in the Frederick, Maryland area. So if you're in the area at that time, then we'll try to fit you in, right? All right.
And also, I mean, Brenda, when you get your website hooked up and stuff with it. You could even do online sessions probably.
Yeah, you probably could with
Um,
people that live, you know.
I probably could. My concern is that if somebody does need some emotional support right there, because you never know what someone's going
Yeah,
to
that's true.
remember and how they're going to react to it. That's why I like to be in the room. But I'm sure we could work something out if they had a friend with them or something along that nature.
Yeah. Maybe you
So
could do a couples thing.
that's true.
Mhm.
Maybe so.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming.
Well, thank you for having me. It's
And
been
again,
delightful.
you can get a hold of Brenda by her email is pastlifewisdom44, all one word, at gmail.com.
Thank you.
I look forward to helping you with your groups or having,
Excellent.
you know, helping you set them up anyway.
We'll have fun.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Terri
Yeah.
and I have some things cooking, so we'll
Mm.
let you know. We're always having something
We
cooking.
always have stuff cooking. All right, everybody. This ends our session of lifting the veil. And Brenda, thanks again. And we'll talk to you soon. Okay?
Thank you.
Thanks.